Hello, I'm Will and this is Mike with the Tabletop Donkeys.
Hello.
And in this video we'll be looking at issue 71 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine, which came with a Cadian Command Squad to begin our Astra Militarum Combat Patrol. We'll be building and painting them up and then trying them out on the battlefield in our first game, but that won't be taking very long, so after that we'll be playing a full Combat Patrol game as well. Inside the issue itself, we start with the build guide for the Command Squad. Each model is fairly easy to put together individually, but there are quite a few options, so you do want to follow the build guide as usual if you want to make the Combat Patrol loadout for this unit. We're starting with the Commander, who in this instance has a power sword. There's a range of heads to choose from as well, which you can put anywhere. There's a Standard Bearer, a Guardsman with a Medipack, and one with a Master Vox unit. And then another veteran guardsman who in the Combat Patrol has a Power Fist and Bolt Pistol, but also has some other options including some ranged weapons. Then their painting guide. This will be establishing the colour scheme for our Astra Militarum Combat Patrol. So we're starting with an undercoat of Abaddon Black, and then using Catachan Flesh for any models you want to have dark skin, or Wraithbone for those you want to have light skin, as well as their fatigues, and then Caliban Green for their body armour and gun casings. More Catachan Flesh for the leather parts, and then Lead Belcher for any metal parts, like the sword, the Vox unit, grenades, that sort of thing. A bit of Mephiston Red on the Standard, as well as some details on the medic. Rakarth Flesh for the parchment on the Vox Man's transmission unit, and more details on the Standard. Then we're doing a light dry brush of Calgar Blue on the power sword to give it a glowing power weapon effect. Using some Retributor armour on the banner, and the sword hilt and details on the officer. Abaddon Black for the gun casings, Corax White for more banner details, and those on some of their shoulder pads. Then we're adding shades, Reichland Flesh shade for all the flesh of both colours and all gold details. An Agrax Earthshade on all the Wraithbone and Rakarth Flesh areas, Known Oil on their armour, the leather parts, the metal parts, and then the white areas. And then highlights of Corax White on the bit that you dry brush blue on the Power Sword, Pallid Witch Flesh for their skin and also their fatigues, Night Questor Flesh for any dark skin and also the leather parts, and then Auric Flesh for the green armour, Stormhouse Silver for the metal parts, as well as the gold details, Mechanica Standard Grey on the gun casings, and finally Wild Rider Red for any red parts. And that's them up to this point, almost complete now, especially with the bases done. Then some background on the Astra Militarum, sometimes known as the Imperial Guard. This is the massed human ground forces of the Imperium. These are almost beyond counting, and usually fight in huge armies where their objective is to overwhelm the enemy with sheer force of numbers and firepower. And almost every world in the Imperium has to supply regiments for the Astra Militarum. The logistical support is provided by the Departmental Munitorum, which is responsible for raising, training and equipping Astra Militarum regiments. There's also a bit about the Adeptus Ministorum, which is in charge of the imperial religion and worship of the god Emperor, and all areas of imperial society fall under their purview, including the Astra Militarum, and they often supply priests to bolster the faith of the guardsman on the front line and look out for their spiritual health. Then we have name generators for Cadian characters and also for the pilot of your Sentinel Walker, which we'll be getting later. So first up for the Commander, who you can give a personality and a rank by rolling here, and then a nickname for the pilot of the Sentinel, and then the collection article for the Command Squad itself, which is a group of specialists who support an officer in the field, banner bearers, communication specialists, medics and that sort of thing. As usual, you can roll for their background and name them, and then record when you've built, painted and played with them for the first time. And lastly, we have their datasheet, but I'll let Mike go over that as I hand you over to him so he can take us into our games for this issue.
So before we get into today's game, we can have a look at the datasheet for our new Cadian Command Squad. It's a 5-man unit, 6-inch movement, toughness 3, 5+ save, leadership 7 and OC 1. But the Cadian Commander himself has 3 wounds, whereas his veteran guardsmen around him only have 1 wound each. And there's a variety of weapons. One veteran guardsman has a bolt pistol, which is the same as the ones that Space Marines have, except it hits on a 4. The Standard Bearer, the Medic and the Vox Caster have las guns, which is 24-inch range, rapid fire 1, with 1 attack normally, hitting on 4, strength 3, AP 0, 1 damage. While the Commander has a plasma pistol, which has standard or supercharged modes. Supercharged is hazardous, but becomes strength 8, AP-3, damage 2, and they have a 12-inch range and hit on 4s. And again, a variety of melee weapons. The 3 with las guns also have close combat weapons, which are 2 attacks, hitting on 4, strength 3, AP-0, 1 damage. The Guardsman with a bolt pistol has a power fist, 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 6, AP-2, 2 damage, while the Commander has a power weapon, which is also 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 4, AP-2, 1 damage. This is a leader unit, and the unit can be attached to Cadian Shock Troops. Because because the Cadian commander himself is a character, but his bodyguards are not. So even though this is a unit with a single character in it, on its own it's not an attached unit, so technically the Cadian commander can take wounds. You can allocate wounds to him if you want to. I don't know why you'd ever do that. It has the voice of command faction ability, which we'll learn about in future issues, and it also states that the unit's officer, which is the commander, can issue an order to a regiment unit. That's part of the voice of command rule. The Medipack gives the unit a feel no pain of 6+, while the regimental standard adds 1 to the objective control characteristics of models in the bearer's unit. So we can get into today's game, Cadia Stands, where the Imperium is under attack by some Chaos Space Marines, and some Cadians have answered the call and marched out to face the foe. The battlefield is shown over leaf, and we'll take in turns to place 4 terrain cards. The Chaos Space Marines player has a unit of 2 legionaries with bolt guns and close combat weapons, while the Astra Militarum player has the command squad. At the start of the Chaos command phase, if the legionaries have been destroyed, the Chaos Space Marine player can replace that unit by placing them in one of the deployment zones. And for deployment, the Chaos Space Marine player places their unit in one of the deployment zones. The Astra Militarum player places the command squad in the middle of the battlefield, and the Chaos Marines go first, and neither player gets enhancement, secondary objectives, or faction abilities. Then the Astra Militarum player wins if one or more models from their command squad is within 3 inches of the centre of the battlefield at the end of the game, whereas the Chaos Space Marines win if the command squad is destroyed and the battle will last for 4 battle rounds. So there's the battlefield, just one battle mat side, and then the Chaos Space Marines deployment zones are the corners, Astra Militarum in the middle. Quick reminder of how Feel No Pain works, because there is a Medipack in the command squad, and then the victory outcomes for both sides. And then on the next page, it gives you examples of replaying this scenario with units that are coming up, like adding some Cadian Shock Troops or the Armoured Sentinel to bolster the Cadian side, and then you can come up with a variety of enemies to try and challenge the Astra Militarum. We probably won't do any variations because it's probably not going to be that interesting with just such small numbers of models, so we'll go into a campaign game instead. Otherwise, we'll get this game set up and get straight into it. So we've got our board and terrain set up, so we've got a crater in the middle for the command squad to hide in, 2 bits of line of sight blocking and a barricade. You can see my 2 Chaos Marines with bolt guns on the left, in the bottom left deployment zone, and a bit of a closer look at the command squad in the middle.
Yeah, so I'll be playing the Astra Militarum Combat Patrol when they have their introductory games. The officer's the one in the middle with the sword looking heroic. There's the veteran with the power fist and bolt pistol in the front left. The medic has the white helmet, the standard is fairly obvious, and the Voxcaster has the apparatus on his back.
And the Chaos Space Marines go first, and the game will last for 4 battle rounds, so into Chaos Marines turn 1. So we're just going to move up close to the guardsmen. Cover's not really that helpful against las guns, and we'll just shoot with our bolt guns. And we're not scared of puny humans in melee, we're Chaos Space Marines. 4 shots with bolt guns on 3s. Ooh, only getting 1 hit. That cover's certainly hard to get through. Wounds on a 3? It doesn't. So we'll have to charge them in melee. Get in with a 7. Charging over the crater edge to engage with all the guardsmen. Well, Chaos Marines get 3 attacks each, hitting on 3s. 5 hits. Wounded on 3s. 3 wounds. No AP though.
Guardsmen have a 5+ save from their flak armour. Made 2 of them, so 1 goes through. Got a 6+ Feel No Pain from the medic. Oh yes. Didn't lose anyone, so they can all pile in and attack. I'll do the veteran with the power fist first because it does 2 damage, so it's the best weapon for taking them out. It's 3 attacks, hitting on 4s. 2 hits. Strength 6, so winning on 3s. 2 wounds at AP -2.
5 up armour for Chaos Marines. They both fail, so they both die. Oh, so the first wave didn't have a very fun time of it. Then it's the guardsman turn, so they'll just rearrange to make sure they're all in the crater. We'll head into Chaos turn 2. So clearly those Chaos Marines were overconfident of their abilities, so the next pair are going to hang back a little bit and try and reduce the guardsmen's numbers with their bolt guns beforehand. Are they better shots than their evil brethren? Oh, they definitely are. They're getting 4 hits, wounded on 3s, 3 wounds, no AP.
We are in cover though, so that gives us a 4+ save. Made 2, 1 Medipack roll, didn't make that one. And we're going to lose the Voxcaster because it doesn't actually do anything.
Well, that'll be it, and be on to Guardsman turn 2.
We're just going to move to the edge of the crater to get the pistols in range and one of the las guns in rapid fire range. The one with the standard isn't, but it is in cover. We won't supercharge the plasma pistol, that'll be hitting on a 4. It missed. Bolt pistol, missed, that was also on a 4. And 3 las gun shots, 1 in rapid fire. 1 hit on 4s, 5 to wound. Nope.
No brave charges out of the crater because the Astra Militarum need to be in the middle of the board to win the game. So we're straight to Chaos turn 3. So we're going to move in now. We need to get as many attacks as possible really, and some of the guardsmen out of cover. 4 shots with bolt guns on 3s, 3 hits wounded on 3s, getting 3 wounds.
One in cover then with a 4+. Failed. Medipack. Nope, so the standard bearer goes down, and then 2 more saves on 5s. 1 saved, and then the Medipack failed. So the standard bearer dies, and we will lose the Medipack now, because the other 2 are the ones who are going to be able to resist in melee.
Yep, so the Chaos Marines are going to charge. They get a 12, which is excessive. So with that huge charge, what we're actually going to do is run around the Cadians and then attack them from behind so we can stand in the crater, because the cover will help against the commander's plasma pistol, somehow, even though we're at point-blank range. 6 attacks from Chaos Marines on 3s. Oh, 5 hits. And wounded on 3s. Only 2 wounds. These are some beefy guardsmen.
5+ saves. Failed both. I'm actually going to put them on the officer, as discussed before, because it's not a bodyguard unit. I am able to allocate attacks to the character model. It would only be if it's attached to another squad, where I would have to abide by the restrictions of that. But on this case, I actually want to protect the Power Fist. So he's down to 1 wound remaining. Power Fist, 3 attacks on 4s, 2 hits, wounding on 3s. Only 1 wound this time.
5 up armour. All made it.
And the officer also has 3 attacks on 4s with his power sword. He hits twice as well, but he'll be wounding on 4s because he's strength 4. No, nothing.
But that'll be it for Chaos turn 3 on to Astra Militarum turn 3.
So I'm not going to fall back because I have to stay near the middle of the board, but I can shoot some pistols in melee, and I'm actually going to supercharge the officer's plasma pistol. I will roll their battle shock test though, just in case. They pass their leadership 7+, and the plasma on a 4. Missed. Bolt pistol on a 4, also missed, and hazardous for the plasma. Fine.
Then we're into the fight phase where the Chaos Marines get to go first. 6 attacks on 3s, get them on the box. 3 hits this time. Well, they are little, they are to hit. Wounding on 3s, only 1.
5+? No, so the officer is dead. 3 attacks with the power fist on 4s. Only 1, and it wounds on 3. It does.
5 up armour, saved again. And then with 1 brave Cadian standing firm, we're on to Chaos turn 4. So there's 2 bolt pistols from the Chaos Marines on 3s. They both hit, and wounded on 3s, they both wound.
Double 5+ needed to live. Made 1, but no.
Ooh. And that'll be the end of the game, and it'll be a Chaos victory. I'm not sure if we'll play through this again, because I don't think it's going to be that interesting, to be honest. I think probably what would happen is the Command Squad would probably die earlier, because the bolt gun should be more effective.
I think that first round of combat probably should have done more damage than it did. The first 2 Chaos Marines were pretty useless.
Yeah, and they came relatively close, and it's probably about as close again. So again, with some lucky rolls, I think the Guardsmen can claim victory. They only need 1 of them to survive. So I think what we'll do is we'll play a full combat patrol game in the next game in our little campaign. So the campaign game we're going to be playing is going to be Chaos Space Marines versus Genestealer Cults, because we have their full patrol now, we might as well test it out. And just going to be on Clash of Patrols, and the little narrative is that the Chaos Space Marines have attacked an Imperial planet, raiding it for supplies or to establish a base to further pillage the system, and they've happened to time this, the exact time a Genestealer Cult uprising is taking place, and the Genestealer Cults just see the Chaos Marines as yet another oppressor, trying to stop them from welcoming the arrival of the Star Children. And obviously on the page after you have the victory outcomes for both of them, but neither of these factions is in position to win the campaign. Obviously it's the Genestealer Cults' first game. For this game I'll play the Genestealer Cults and we'll be playing the Chaos Space Marines. So we'll get the boards set up and get straight into it. So here we are, set up for Clash of Patrols. You can see our terrain, quite heavy on the line of sight blocking terrain for this board today. Objective 1 at the top, 2 and 3 across the middle, and Objective 4 at the bottom. So on my left I've got the unit of Aberrants and a unit of Neophytes near Objective 4 in the middle. And then the other unit of Neophytes and the Rock Grinder, which is slightly too long to fit in the deployment zone, so it has to be sideways. And then the Magus is with the Acolytes and they're in Deep Strike. I'm using the default enhancement and secondary objectives for this game because it's our first game with the Genestealer Cults. So the default enhancement is Psionic Shield, while the Magus is leading a unit. Each time a ranged attack is allocated to a mod in that unit, add 1 to the saving rolls. And then the default secondary is Rise Up, where from the second battle round onwards, at the end of the opponent's turn, I roll a d6 for each objective marker I control that has a Neophyte hybrid unit within range of it. Excluding battle shock units, on a 1 to 3 I get 1 VP, on a 4+ I score 3 VP. And we can see the Chaos deployment.
We've got the Dark Apostle with 1/2 of the Legionary squad on the left, Terminators and the other half in the middle. I brought them over the Havocs because they're better in melee and their firepower is still going to do fine against Genestealer Cults, and the Hellbrute out on the right as you see it. For my secondary I'll choose Champion of the Dark Gods, so 3 VP at the end of any phase in which the Dark Apostle kills 1 or more enemy models, because he shouldn't have too much trouble killing Neophyte hybrids and so forth, and he'll have the Infernal Blessing enhancement giving him a 5+ feel no pain.
Quick reminder that the objectives for this game is just take and hold, so you get 5 VP for each objective you control, up to max of 15, and then if you control an objective in your command phase, you can gather intelligence from it as long as your warlord is still alive, and that gets you an extra command point. So we're just rolling off for the first turn. The Chaos Marines win, so we're into Chaos turn 1.
So you can see all of my movement in this shot. The Dark Apostles squad advanced just to tow on to objective 2, but not get too close to the aberrants. Terminators moving up the centre of the board. The other unit of legionaries are getting somebody in range of objective 1 so I can secure it, but otherwise getting behind the barricade. And the Hellbrute staying back with them for now. The Rock Grinder's quite fast, so I don't need to go after that yet. Shoot with the Terminators at the unit of neophytes in the middle near objective 4. I'll spend a command point for malicious volleys to let them reroll hit rolls of 1, and also do a dark pact for sustained hits 1.
Yeah, and I'll use a CP for lurking killers to give the Terminators -1 to hit.
Reaper autocannon has 4 shots hitting on 4s with sustained hits 1 anyway. Reroll 1s. 2 hits but are sustained, wounding on 2s because it's strength 7 with devastating wounds. 1 devastating and 2 normal wounds at -1.
We've got cover, so 5s. Fell both, so that's 3 dead so far.
And 8 shots from combi bolters on 4s rerolling 1s. Just 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds with no AP.
Cover, so 4 up. Fell both, so 5 dead.
And a dark pact on leadership 6, they're fine. And the legionary squad near them with the bolt guns and heavy bolter will also shoot at them. I won't do a dark pact with them.
Yeah, but they still get -1 to hit.
Heavy bolter 3 shots on 5s because of the -1. 3 hits though, including because he gets sustained by default. Wounding on 3s, 3 wounds at -1.
5 up armour, saved 1, so that's 2 dead.
And 8 bolt gun shots on 4s. 3 hits, wounding on 4s as well. 3s rather. 2 wounds.
2 4+ armour saves, made both. So I'll leave just the special weapons alive.
And the Hellbrute can just about see the aberrants across the board, so just shoot at them. 3+1 shots because of blast. 2. Hitting on 3s. 1. Wounding on a 3. Yes, IP -3.
The cover won't help because I've only got 5+ save.
There's 3 damage.
So I'll lose the useless unit leader.
Hazardous. It's fine. But that's the end of my turn.
On to Genestealer Cults turn 1. So the 3 neophytes remaining in that one squad have to take a battle rock test and their leadership 7. So they fail. So for my movement, the 4 remaining aberrants are going to move around the box. It's going to be a long charge, but I would like to try and make it and try and kill off that melee squad. Maybe force the Terminators to deal with them. 3 remaining neophytes are getting onto objective 4. They are battle shocked, but next turn they get to try again, and then they can sticky the objective if they are somehow still alive. Glass Rock Grinders come towards the middle, because I wanted to head off the Terminators, while the other neophytes are getting into cover. I'll start shooting with the squad on the right, shooting at the squad of Chaos Marines opposite them. So starting off shooting with a seismic cannon, 4 shots on 5s, getting a hit. Strength 6, so wounds on 3s. Nope. 6 shots on the heavy stubber on 4s. 2. Wounding on 4s. Nope. 6 shots from hybrid firearms on 4s, getting 1. Wounds on a 5. Hey, that does.
3+. Saved.
And the other squad of neophytes will shoot at the unit of Chaos Marines near objective 2. 4 shots from the seismic cannon, that miss. 6 shots from the heavy stubber, they get 4 hits. Wounding on 4s, getting 2 wounds.
I think I'll actually take these on Chaos Marines for the 3+ save. We're fine.
3 shots on the Rock Grinder as well on 4s. Nope. So that's all my shooting. The only charge is going to be the aberrants into the unit of Chaos Marines with the Dark Apostle. They need an 8-inch charge, well they get 12, so they're definitely in. So the aberrants can get in like that. The Dark Apostle does still have his 2 friends, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is less impactful than I hope it will be.
Nevertheless, I'm going to spend a command point for Empiric Rights to give the whole squad a 4+ invulnerable save.
12 attacks from the aberrants, hitting on 3s. 7 hits, wounding on 2s. 5 wounds at -2.
Well, the 4+ on the Dark Disciples and the Chaos Marines mean I can just roll all these at once. Failed 2, so we lose the 2 little guys. And we'll pile in slightly, and we've got all the Marines to fight. And I'll do a Dark Pact for sustained hits 1. But I'll start with the Dark Apostle, because if he kills one I get some victory points. Hitting on 2s with 5 attacks. But with the sustained hits, that's 4 hits. Wounding on 3s, because they toughness 6, but he gives himself +1 to wound. Still can only manage 2 wounds at -1.
So 6s. No, so he will kill 1.
The Champion's Accursed Weapon has 4 attacks on 3s. Only 2 hits. Wounding on 4s, strength 5 normally. 2 wounds at -2.
So they go straight through.
So that's just 2 damage. 3 chainswords with 12 attacks, hitting on 3s. 3 sustained, so that's 12 hits in total, wounding on 4s as well. 6 wounds at -1.
6s. Made 1, so that's 5. So there's 1 on a wound who dies, another one takes 3 wounds, and then there's 1 left on 2 wounds.
And the Melter Gun Man on 3s. Oh, gets 5 hits with double sustained, wounding on 4s. 2 with no AP.
5 up armour. Fail both, so they are wiped out.
Dark Pact test on Leadership 5. Just about.
So that allows the Chaos Marines to consolidate onto Objective 2, and they also get 3 victory points for the Dark Apostle killing a model. As we head into Chaos Marines turn 2.
I gained 10 victory points for holding 2 objectives, both of which were secured by legionaries, and also I'll take an extra CP. I'll take it from Objective 2 in case I lose that later. And the Hellbrute is going to move on to Objective 3, followed by the legionaries over there, the Terminator squad moving up the middle, and the Dark Apostle squad is going to retreat slightly because I don't want them to be charged by the Rock Grinder because it will probably make a mess of them, and also to stay back and screen off my backlines a bit from the deep striking unit and potentially cold ambushes as well. I'll start the shooting with the legionaries with the bolt guns at the full unit of hybrids.
Yep, and they'll use CP for lurking killers again from -1 to hit.
Heavy bolter on 5s, 6s are sustained. Oh, get them in the box. Just 1. Wounds on a 3. Nope. And 8 bolt gun shots on 4s. 6 hits, wounding on 3s. 3.
With 4+ saves. Made 1, so that's 2 dead.
I'll do the Hellbrute next, shooting at the Rock Grinder. I'll do a Dark Pact for lethal hits because it's still going to be winning it on 5s even with the high strength, but it has D3 shots. 2 on 3s, 1 hit, and wounds on a 5. No. Hazardous. No, and Dark Pact. It's fine. Terminators will put all of their shots into the 3 hybrids on Objective 4. Autocannon, 4 shots on 3s, sustained hits. That's 5 hits. Wounding on 2s, 4 wounds at -1.
5s. Oh, there's still 1 left.
And 16 combi bolter shots. Wounding on 3s. 7 wounds.
7 4-up saves for the last one. No. So they are destroyed. That does mean a marker appears where I can bring a new unit in. So I'm going to put my marker down here in the bottom left of the board. There's not really any good places because the Chaos Forces are all sort of in the middle. And I don't want to go in the bottom right because the Hellbrute's probably going to charge and that would scupper everything.
In the charge phase, the Hellbrute's going to declare a charge on the hybrids behind the barricade. Because of the way the barricade rules in this magazine, I can get into base contact with the barricade and still fight them, even though I won't be within an inch. I'll need a 7 to get there, though. That's an 8. So it gets into contact with the barricade there, where it will now hit the nearfight hybrids. No Dark Pacts, which are 5 attacks hitting on 4s. 2 hits. 2s will paste people. Oh, just 1. It kills 1.
Yeah, and I didn't bother showing the Acolytes hitbacks because it would have been hitting on 4s and wounded on 6s, and I didn't get anything. So that's the end of Chaos turn 2, on to Genestealer Cults turn 2. So I don't get any victory points because I didn't actually hold any objectives. In my movement phase, the Rock Grinder's moving into the middle. Going to need to make a long charge to get to the Apostles unit, unfortunately. This unit of neophytes will fall back, so if the Hellbrute wants to come after them, he needs to go into the corner. And up at the top, the Acolytes are going to deep strike in, 9 inches away from that unit of Chaos Marines. So the Rock Grinder is going to fire its incinerator at the Dark Apostle squad, and as we drive past, we'll throw some demo charges at the Terminators as well. I'll do these shots on the Marines, 2d6 incinerator hits for 4, wounding on 3s, 3 wounds at -1, ignoring cover.
4+, take a wound.
6 shots from the Heavy Stubber on 4s, getting 5 hits, wounding on 4s. That's 3 wounds at no AP.
3s, kills a Marine.
And then the demo charges, d6 plus 3 shots with blast, so d6 plus 4. That's 5 shots. Hitting on 5s. 3 hits. Strength 12, so wounding on 2s. 2 wounds at -2.
4+ save for Terminator armour. Oh dear, failed 2, because it blows up a Terminator.
2 damage each. Hazardous roll for the demo charges, it's fine. And rolling off camera for the Acolytes and the Megas, they got a wound on that Chaos Marine squad at the top right.
3+. Oh, takes a wound.
I'm going to start the charge phase with the Acolytes and the Megas, and they're going to charge that Chaos Marine squad. So their charge roll is a 3, so I'll re-roll that. Into a 6, which isn't enough. Okay, And then the Rock Grinder is going to go into the Terminators, I think, because he probably can't fail that charge. And if he charges into the Marines, they Terminators can heroically intervene into him anyway. So he's in. Rock Grinder's going to charge like that, just so its rear end is still on objective 4. And I'm going to spend a CP to tank shock the Terminators. So 10 dice with tank shock, looking for 5s. Well, that's 3, so I'll kill a Terminator. Then the Roll Grinder's melee attack, 6 attacks on 3s, 6 are sustained, 5 hits.
But I will spend a CP for bitter blows, so if any of them are destroyed by this, they get to fight on 4+.
Yeah. Windy on 2s, 4 wounds at -2.
4+ saves. Failed 3, so we do lose a Terminator and 1 takes 2. So on a 4+, that one does get to fight before it's removed. It does not. So 2 left to fight back. I'll do a Dark Pact for sustained hits, because I want to do as many hits as possible. Chain Fist has 3 attacks hitting on 4s. Gets 2 hits. It's anti-vehicle 3+, so winning on 3s. 1 at -2 AP.
So 5 up armour. Nope, takes 2 damage, it's down to 10.
And the Power Fist 3 attacks on 3s. Put them in the box. Only 1 hit, but that's 2 with sustained. Wounding on 5s. No. And a test for Dark Pacts. They're just about okay.
So you can see the state of the board at the end of turn 2. Getting through those Terminators, but yeah, I really need some of my other units to actually do something. As we head into Chaos turn 3.
So I got another 10 victory points for holding 2 objectives, and I've got to 4 command points because I can gather intelligence on objective 1 this time. Then the Hellbrute moved around that reactor to head towards the Rock Grinder, after which the Terminators fell back from it.
Yeah, when they fall back, I will Overwatch with the Rock Grinder. We'll Overwatch with everything, so 2d6 hits from the Flamer, 4 again. Wounded on 3s, 3 at -1.
3+, saved.
Heavy Stubber gets 2 hits, 5s, no wounds. D6 +3 explosives for 5. Getting 2 hits, 2s, 2 wounds at -2.
4s. Oh, okay, it blows up the wounded Terminator. I think I might spend a command point to re-roll that save, because I've got so many. No. The Dark Apostles squad will move up to surround objective 2, and we also get the melter gun within half range of the Rock Grinder. While the other Legionary squad are just going to move away from the Acolytes and get on to objective 3.
Then at the end of the Chaos movement phase, my reinforcement unit of Neophytes arrives from Cold Ambush behind the pink cargo container so that those Marines can't really charge them.
I'll start shooting with the Dark Apostles squad. We've got the melter gun and the pistols into the Rock Grinder. So the melter gun hits on a 3. Yeah. Wounds on a 5. Yes.
Goes through.
D6 +2 damage because it's within half range. 5.
So it kills it. Does it explode? No.
We'll do the Hellbrute next. It's going to shoot at the newly arrived Neophytes. D3 +2 shot. 4. Hitting on 3s. 3 hits, 2s to kill. Oh, just 1. And potentially hazardous. No. And the Bolt Gun Legionary squad will shoot the other hybrids. And I will do a Dark Pact for sustained hits with this. So the Heavy Bolter has sustained hit anyway, on 4s. 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds at -1.
6s, because I don't think they're close enough to the cover. Nope, 2 dead.
Bolt guns on 3s. Well, 8 hits because of the sustained. And 3s. 6 wounds.
5s, made 3, so that's 5 dead.
And their Dark Pact test, they're fine.
So I'll just leave the 2 heavy weapons.
But that'll be it for my turn.
On to Genestealer Cults turn 3. Again, no victory points, so we could probably call the game at this point, but I might as well play out the rest of my turn. The Neophytes here will move around to shoot at some of those Marines. These 2 brave boys have moved up behind the cover, and the Acolytes moved up to charge those Chaos Marines.
But they'll Overwatch when they come around the corner. And I'll do a Dark Pact for sustained hits, so every 6 I roll is 2. Heavy Bolter, 2 hits. Wounding on 3s, 1 wound.
So there is a guy at the back in cover, but I also get +1 from the Magus' enhancement, so I have a 4. No, he dies.
And the Bolt Guns looking for 6s, getting 1, so that's 2 hits. Wounding on 4s. No. And a Dark Pact test. They're fine.
Shooting. This squad of Neophytes can all see a Marine on the objective, so we'll shoot at them. Now we'll do the Seismic Cannon first. 6 shots on 5s. Doesn't get any. Heavy Stubber on 4s. Gets 3. On 4s. 1.
Save. Yes.
Acolyte Leader's Pistol. Misses. 6 auto guns. That's rapid firing. On 4s. 9 hits really on 5s. 2.
3s. Fine.
And the Weber. 3 shots, wounding on 6s, which are devastating. Oh, a dev wound, yay. The other 2 guys will shoot at the Marines on objective 3. 6 shots with the seismic cannon, 2 hits, wounding on 3s, getting 2 wounds at -1.
4s, fail 1, so the wounded one is killed.
Heavy stubber on 4s, 4. 4s again, getting 2.
3s, fine.
And I won't bother shooting with the acolytes, they're just going to charge those Marines. Still need a decent roll, like more than a 2, so I'll re-roll it. Into an 11, there we go, at least I made a charge. So after their pile-in, I do get on the objective, but we'll see how many Marines we can take down.
And I'll spend a command point for Empiric Rights to give them a 4+ invulnerable save.
We've got 2 attacks with the heavy mining tool on 3s. They get a hit, strength 10, so 2s. No. Oh, they reroll hit rolls of 1. Oh, you are within range of an objective marker, so I can reroll wound rolls of 1. Yay, a wound.
4+. Oh no, it kills 1.
I'll do the Magus next. She has 3 attacks on 3s. Rerolling 1s. They all hit. Wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. 3 wounds at -1.
4s. Failed 1.
D3 damage. 3.
Kills another.
And then 6 attacks on 2 regular Acolyte hybrids on 3s, rerolling 1s. 5 hits on 4s, rerolling 1s. 2 wounds at -1.
4s. It's another wound.
And 5 attacks on the leader on 3s, rerolling 1s. 4 hits, wounding on 3s, rerolling 1s. 4 wounds at -2.
So 4+ invulnerable. Failed 2, so 1 Marine's left on 1 wound after all that.
So they'll consolidate like that, getting basically all of them on the objective.
And the remaining Marine has 3 attacks back. I won't do a Dark Pact. They all hit. Wound on 4s. 2.
5 up armour. Fell both, so that's 2 Acolytes dead. So, just about to see the state of the board. Killed a decent number of Marines, but I'm going to call it there because they're so far ahead on primary and I haven't even scored any victory points yet. So that'll be a Chaos victory, and we'll recap that for you now. So those were our 2 games for issue 71 of Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol magazine. We'll start with the introduction to the Cadian Command Squad. How did you think that went?
Well, I think it's quite a difficult one for the Command Squad to win. As the first 2 Chaos Marines proved, the Command Squad can actually beat 2 of them, although that was actually probably just down to decent rolling with the Power Fist. The first 2 also, I think, should have done a lot better in melee with their 6 attacks. But with infinite Chaos Marines coming in, so just whittling them down with bolter fire and melee attacks should make that quite a difficult one.
And it's not really a good introduction to the Command Squad. You're almost certainly going to have them with at least a squad of 10 Cadians to maximise, first off, the Medipack, the banner, and the officer's orders. We'll have to talk about Voice of Command when it's introduced, but that's really the reason why you have Command Squads, and that's how you make them better.
Yeah, with the banner and having him attached to one of the 2 Shock Trooper squads we get, that's a 15-man brick of 3 OC for the Shock Troopers and 2 for the Command Squad, so that's a lot of bodies to shift off an objective. They're not very tough, but you have to remove all of them.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, you might take the Command Squad on its own in this combat patrol, because there is one enhancement that when you give an order, it applies to every unit on the battlefield, and a 5-man squad is easier to hide than a 15-man squad, so they're not getting shot to bits.
Yeah, the Voice of Command is one of the major rules that the Astra Militarum Combat Patrol revolves around, and so you want the officer to be alive for that.
And to be honest, also, the way the squad is built, you would probably, if you're going to take a Power Fist, give it to the officer, and then give the veteran guardsman who has the Power Fist in the collection something like a plasma gun or a grenade launcher or a melter gun, just for the extra firepower.
Yeah, because they're obviously not a melee unit. The Power Fist isn't terrible, but you wouldn't charge them into Chaos Space Marines. Certainly compared to the other Combat Patrol's leaders, it doesn't look that impressive from a stats point of view, but it is a force multiplier. You just haven't seen that yet.
The fact that it's a squad is more a testament to the fact that Astra Militarum are normal humans. I mean, I would argue he's better than the Magus.
That's probably fair. And they're a great kit as well. The new range of Cadians that have come out in the last few years are a really good update of the old version. They're very similar in appearance, but they just look dynamic and interesting. There's a lot of variety in the kits and good
properly
poses.
Proportioned.
Yeah.
And there's tons of spare heads. There's several bare head options, cap options, and helmeted options, or at least one helmeted option for the officer alone. All sorts of weapon options. You can probably mix and match with the Cadian Shock Troopers. And there's a couple of extra basing bits, one of which I actually used on the Sentinel as well. Just a little bit of variety.
And And being the command squad, they're some of the most individual of the range as well, because you've got the various veterans. And having a big banner always looks impressive.
But otherwise, we'll probably have to talk about them in later issues as well, because the whole Combat Patrol revolves around them and how they benefit the other units in the Combat Patrol. So we'll move on to our campaign game and the first attempt of the Genestealer Cults, which went terribly wrong for them.
Yeah, I think it was probably a tough matchup for them anyway, because they have hardly any shooting that can really worry the Chaos forces. There's the seismic cannons, but they're worse at hitting if they move, and they're still only -1, so if you're in cover, it's not really that dangerous. Clearance Incinerator is actually possibly the scariest thing. And the things that can threaten in melee, well, the Aberrants were terrible, but the fact that I had 4 units, 3 of which you probably didn't want to charge, doesn't help a faction whose shooting is not very good and who's going to rely on melee.
Yeah, I probably should have left the Aberrants behind the box and just let you come to me.
Yeah, leave them there as a threat, because I wouldn't have been able to charge them.
Possibly it would be better to put some of the neophytes in Deep Strike with the Magus instead, so they can appear and shoot and get reroll hits with the stratagem, rather than trying to charge with the Acolytes. And Genestealer Cults are the sort of army where you need to have a plan, and that plan needs to be a good plan, and it needs to be executed well, otherwise things fall apart.
Yeah, I also didn't fail any Dark Pacts rolls, that can make a difference, and you failed a couple of charges that, or at least just had to spend all your CP doing rerolls on charges and things like that.
But the Rock Grinder did really well, actually, to kill 4 Terminators.
The Hellbrute probably would have done alright against it in melee, but it's also much slower, so it was chasing it round. And the Terminators actually performed quite poorly. It didn't help that one of them got blown up by a satchel charge to the face.
Possibly also, because this is long-edge deployment, and we start relatively closer to each other, that might help Chaos, because they can advance into the middle of the board, which kind of meant so that I didn't have any really good places for my cult ambush. Although I suppose, considering you only actually destroyed one of the units, it may be better to use the reserves more aggressively, to have them show up in the opponent's deployment zone or something like that, to try and force a unit to go back to stop it appearing.
Yeah, that's true. You put a marker down, then even if you don't expect it to survive, it does force something to go back and deal with it, or have a unit of 10 neophytes appearing in your backline, which, yeah, they're not very tough, but they have a lot of OC. You don't want them on your home objective.
And other factions are more vulnerable to being shot at by them, I suppose.
I did place fairly cautiously in some ways, because I didn't want to get too far away from my backlines, precisely so you couldn't do that. And it's funny, because the neophytes come back automatically, but they don't come back very quickly, and they tend to come back on the periphery of the board. Unless your opponent's really aggressive, then you're not going to have much space behind them.
Perhaps I should have just been really aggressive with the Rock Grinder and gone straight in right away and tank shot the Hellbrute and tried to mince it, throw demo charges and all that, and at the very least held you on that side of the board as well, because the less stuff you have to shoot at me, the more neophytes will live.
And of course the Acolytes can come back as well, but only on a 4+, and there are only 5 of them to start with. And actually, yes, they went into melee and destroyed almost an entire squad of legionaries, but the one remaining one killed 2 in return, so they're really not very tough.
The Aberrants and the neophytes really need to kill the unit they're up against, unless it was like Eldar Guardians in melee or something. Basically what I've learned is that if I'm playing Genestealer Cults, when we're setting up terrain, I need to put a line of sight blocking terrain piece in the deployment zone. It's all a learning thing really with Genestealer Cults. But I believe the next issue is another Combat Patrol game where we'll probably see them again, just to get more use out of them. Don't know who they'll be against, but we look forward to that. I don't think there's any much more to say about these games or this issue. And let us know how you've been getting on with the collection. By the time this video goes out, it will probably have finished where we are. So we'll finish it up. 11th will probably come out before then, but we'll still carry on. We were the Tail Donkeys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye for now.